Hi, my name is Jordan Kelly, and today I'll be talking about the effects of attendance on academic performance. The goal of this research paper is to display how chronic absenteeism negatively affects students' academic performance. This study will use incentives to see if that will improve attendance and academic performance in students. I took data starting in September and I continued for 3 consecutive 9 weeks of the school year. The problem. Various factors contribute to chronic absenteeism, which include medical, personal, family, mental health concerns, and social issues like bullying, poverty, inconsistent parenting, and transportation issues. These are the common problems we see of why students are chronically absent. This chart is data collected from the U.S. Department of Education. This takes elementary, middle, high, and other schools and shows how students are chronically absent. As you can see, from elementary to middle, it increases, and then middle to high, it substantially increases. And when they get to high school, 1 in every 5 students is chronically absent. So clearly, there's a trend of absenteeism starting from middle school or elementary school, continuing to middle school, and continuing to high school. This data was collected on the school that I did the study for. This took attendance from each grade level, showed how many people were present, and how many people were absent. It shows the number of how many students were chronically absent throughout the study. Implementation. So the sampling group 1, I had 2 6th grade students. They were in a general education classroom, mixed abilities, and they only received the intervention. Group 2 was 1 student, the intervention small group, and they received the attendance incentive. They also received special education services. The student in group 3 was in general education, and they only received the attendance incentive. They didn't receive the small group instruction or the intervention. Ethical considerations. When completing a research problem, a project, and study, ethical considerations are very important, and the number 1 consideration was confidentiality. Then I did permission forms for my principal to give me permission to conduct the study on our school and parents to let me involve their student in the study. I did random sampling, and I also certified teachers using attendance for data collection. It was very important we had certified teachers putting in attendance for data collection and not just anybody putting in attendance for data collection. The best practices. Title I schools offer free after-school tutoring for families to access to help adjust and narrow academic gaps. This tutoring is a great resource for families who may have a child who has academic gaps. But when the child is not at school, they miss needed instruction. In order for a student to be successful, they must attend school regularly. So we offer this as a school, but if your child isn't at school, they're not going to receive the after-school tutoring. So the most important thing is for the student to be at school. Attendance of students is a growing issue across the country. Therefore, action plans need to be in place to improve student attendance. Researchers suggest models that outline an action plan like monitoring of student absences, support system practices, available resources, providing support and services for families. Districts must design an action plan to help improve chronic absenteeism and in return improve student academic success rates. If school districts and systems have in place these action plans to help correct chronic absenteeism, then their success rates will increase. So the best practices. Attendance checks, parent meetings and communication, constant meetings and communication with the parents, grade checks, and counselor meetings. Counselor meetings can help you determine what factors are keeping the student away from school. Why is the student, it gets to the root of why the student is not coming to school. Through those counselor meetings, it helps. And it also helps the student feel more comfortable and feel more safe to know that they have somebody they can talk to when those factors are in place. So the outline. First, the attendance committee will meet to establish a plan for an incentive, and projects will which will be announced to parents and students. Second, teachers will collect attendance and academic data monthly as the 9 weeks progress. Third, the committee will meet to discuss data and results. The committee will meet after every 9 weeks to look at the data, discuss if what changes need to be made or what's working and what's not working. Description of data collection. The attendance committee will announce the attendance incentive in September. They will continue to announce and remind about the incentives weekly. They will tell students that the incentives will last each month until the end of March. After the first month, the data will be collected from the attendance reports, progress reports, and intervention progress. The results cannot take place until May when report cards and state assessment scores are finalized. These results will be analyzed students who have been chosen due to chronic absenteeism and the class as a whole. So what we'll do is we'll take those students who were in this study because they were chronically absent and compare them to students who are not chronically absent to see if those attendance issues were affecting the students not coming to school. Then we will go back on historical records and see, okay, if the student improved their attendance, did their academic performance improve? Validity. Students will be randomly assigned a number. Teachers will collect attendance through PowerSchool. It's a system that helps school collect data, track student progress, conduct assessments, and has historical records on students. So where they went to school, their attendance records, state testing records, all those things, medical records. The researcher will print the attendance report from PowerSchool for those students that are in the study. The names will be on the report, and then the researcher will give them a number and record on a spreadsheet with an attendance count for confidentiality. So this is just taking out their name, putting it on a report for confidentiality. The 6th grade students will take the ACAP assessment in the spring. The ACAP is a state assessment that students in this study participate in every year. The previous year's scored will be pulled to help teachers deliver personalized instruction and supports to help increase student achievement. Attendance will be collected through PowerSchool, the system that the district uses for state assessment scores, collecting data, collecting grades, demographics, medical reports, and historical records. So this will help us have all these records in one place for us to look at and review. Results and reflection. So some improvements we saw: we build relationships with parents. We improved reasons on why students are chronically absent. We educated parents on the effects of a student being chronically absent in the long term. Check attendance weekly. Have attendance check-ins with students and parents of students who are chronically absent. Have ongoing action plans and discussions about students who are chronically absent. And these are my references. Thank you.